Hi everybody, Bob Kaiser here. I'm in Bloomington, Illinois. You're probably wondering, why are you in Bloomington, Illinois? I'm actually at my parents' house. Bloomington, Illinois is where I grew up, so I'm at their house now, and if you can see their beautiful lawn behind me, they've worked really hard at it, so it's very peaceful here. So it's been great. The weather's been amazing during my visit, so yay. But I had a thought actually. A question was presented to me. How can a nickel be more powerful than the sun? And I was, of course, thinking about that because, the nickel would be immediately consumed if it went near the sun. It would melt. So how can a nickel be more powerful than the sun? Here's the thought, is that put side by side, the nickel smaller than anything we could ever imagine. But when we're looking at the sun, if the nickel is right next to our eye, the nickel actually covers up the sun. So because of perspective, the nickel right there, I can't see the sun anymore. In fact, it makes the sun disappear. So in that thought is that the nickel is overpowering the sun. I got thinking, of course, about life coaching stuff, and I thought, so what are those things in my life that really, when put side by side, are not really more powerful, but they actually can overpower my goals or whatever it may be just because of my perspective. Hey Thomas, good to see you. Hi. So with that in mind, I got thinking about like working out. Getting outside of the house just to go work out. Sometimes the thought of going out the door is so overpowering. Like there's no way I can get outside, and maybe just walking outside the door, all of a sudden the goal becomes doable. Right now I'm working with retirement stuff, and so sometimes I get overwhelmed with the thought that, I'm never going to have enough money to retire, etc. But it's interesting. So if my retirement is the nickel, and it's covering up my goal, it's right there. I will never have enough money. But then if I can push it out just a little bit, then it's like, maybe this is possible. So the question is, how do we move that nickel, those blocks from our goals, out a little bit so that we can have a little bit of perspective? So that's the question today. I will say for me, that what I do is I take one small step. So what I do is I go talk to a financial planner about my retirement. I start putting a little bit more money towards my retirement fund, and all of a sudden that nickel that is blocking that block for my retirement is out a little bit, and I get some perspective. So many times with clients, half the battle is just getting perspective. So how is that in your life? What things maybe are your nickels? And if anyone's just joining us, it's the whole idea of that the nickel is smaller than the sun, and yet the nickel can overpower the sun. How is that possible? Well, the nickel can be right there, right next to our eye. It completely blocks out the sun. But if we move that nickel out just a little bit, all of a sudden the sun is back. So what are those things in your life that are your nickels? So, hey Sue, how are you? Good to see you. Hope Orlando is fun, and I still need to get down there again. So, and hey John, how are you? Oh, good. I'm glad this is helping. What is your perspective on this? Feel free to write me a comment down there on the comment box. So again, the question is, what are your nickels? What are those things in your life that, when kind of close up to you, are blocking you from your success? But when you kind of put them in perspective, success seems more obtainable and actually gets you out of that stuck feeling. So what are some of your things? Feel free to write down anything. Sue, do you have anything? What are your blocks? Hey Anthony, how are you? Hi Glenn, good to see you. Another thing I was thinking about is writing. So I published my book back in February. And when I first started, the success of my book, if that was the sun, my thoughts of how overwhelming it was to write a complete book, would I have enough to say? What I said, was that even interesting enough? That was kind of that nickel that was just saying there's no way I can ever write a book. Then my father suggested, well, what if you just write one story? So I wrote one story, and all of a sudden that nickel moved out just a little bit, and I went, wow, I can start to see maybe the possibility of a book. Then I took about 2 weeks off from my job, and I just started writing. And all of a sudden, that nickel, those blocks to writing the book, went even further out. I went, wow, this is actually maybe even possible that I could actually write this book. And all of a sudden, it got more doable. So what are the things that you have blocking your life or blocking your goals or your success? What are they? And oh, Trish, how are you? I just noticed you. Hi, Trish. It's fun. I get to see all these people I've not seen in a while. Well, So, but what have you noticed? Well, first of all, what are your nickels? And then how do you move those nickels farther away so that you can find the goal or the success again? And again, this is another way of talking about when we feel stuck or unmotivated. Anthony, possibility is wonderful in creating from nothing, and creating from nothing is incredible. I agree. And sometimes that nothingness actually can be a nickel, at least for me. I'm like, where do you even start? How do you do whatever you're trying to do? And it's funny because I will see success as someone who's been doing whatever I'm trying to do, has been doing it for 20 years and is very successful. And then my nickel will be, there's no way I can ever do that. The chances are they probably had that one day where they had to take that first step. You know, I'm looking at them 20 years from their first step, but we all have to start somewhere. So, John, you have to start. Take that nickel and add another and another. Without a start, you cannot reach your potential. I like that, John. I agree. It's that first step is the hardest usually. And my block may be the fear of losing what I already have. I love that, Trish. Or my fear of not getting what I want, so I don't even start. Yeah, it's interesting too. I was thinking about this. I'm not really I'm not a religious person. I definitely believe in the universe, and I believe that there's an order to things. And if anyone sees me on Facebook, I'm always talking to the universe. So I'll say that's God for me, though not the traditional God. But I was thinking about that my fears often disconnect me from my intuitive sense, the intuitive sense with the universe, just the natural flow of things. Because I have found in my life, if I just get out of the way, usually things work out pretty well. It's when I try to take control of things that things usually get messed up. I was thinking that if I think of the universe or the world of possibility as the sun, that my fears are usually that nickel. And those fears get really close to me, and then I can't reach out to that possibility or that feeling of, you know what, things are going to be okay. In my life, things have always worked out. I've always gotten what I need, not always what I want, but always what I need. So sometimes I need to take that nickel away just a little bit and get perspective, and also to get connection again. And my fears, they disconnect me so quickly. Excuse me, I'm having allergies out here. I can't believe it. I'm from Chicago, and we just don't have this in the city, so it is beautiful out here. And the bugs and everything, if you can hear it. But anyway, I was thinking about sometimes that it's that moving that nickel away that can be the challenge. I loved how I think Anthony said that it's the taking that first step, and it's getting perspective. A common fear that I hear with my clients when they're trying a new venture is, but what if I mess up and I'm homeless? And I challenge that as in, are you really going to be homeless? Do you really believe that? And they go, well, no, but I have a fear of just messing up, which I can totally relate to. But just that thought stops them from even taking the next step forward. So sometimes it's taking the next step forward while creating safety for yourself, or reminding yourself that you are okay, that right now in this moment you are okay. So that kind of helps. John, never fear failure. It is truly the holdback on your beauty, life, future, and ultimate happiness. Interesting. You know, I might challenge you there too, is that I think failure also, it inspires people because they don't want to fail. But what I think what I hear you saying is that never let failure, the thought of failure, stop you. In fact, a lot of the most successful people who have created new things, if you think about it, they failed at their traditional success. But by challenging themselves and not being afraid to fail, they actually created the new. I think Einstein had so many experiments that were failures, but those failures created all the success that they had. So who was it? I'm so bad with names, but one of the antibiotics, actually the failure was that the antibiotic was a mold, and so everyone was like, this doesn't work. And they threw it in the garbage, and then they realized as it was growing that actually maybe we have something here. I wish I could remember what the cure was. If anyone can remember it, type it down. Anyway, point is, after my ramblings, is that think about what your nickels are. What are those thoughts or beliefs that are stopping you from your higher good, your highest potential? And it's those thoughts that, I love what Trish said, it's the fear of losing something, the fear of not getting something, and I think for me also the fear of not being good enough, or that I don't deserve something. And I heard someone talking the other day about someone deserving this or that, and I was thinking about, I'm not sure what the credentials are or the criteria are for deserving something. I mean, because I think all of us, if we got what we deserved, I'm not sure any of us would be successful. So I think that notion, just a thought I'm having right now with myself, is that that I'm not sure that really works. I think we're all we're deserving, or we can have, the life of our dreams, and kind of a life beyond our wildest dreams, actually. And usually the things stopping us are ourselves. It's our beliefs, it's our fears. And let me rephrase that, that's what's stopping me most of the time. So anyway, that's just my thought. Again, though, the thought for this week is, what's your nickel that is keeping you from seeing your potential or having the success? Success that could enrich your life, all those dreams, but that nickel it seems like it's overpowering. It's those thoughts are like, I'll never be able to do this. But once you do it, you look back, you're like, wow, that thought was nothing. That fear was nothing. It was just a thought. So anyway, something to think about. And again, when you find those things, just move them out just a little bit. Maybe even by questioning the thought, by saying, is this fear real? Will this really happen? Will I really become homeless if I, start my business? And actually, sometimes with the fears, those are good things that help us put in place those safety mechanisms so that we can create the life of our dreams. I know with my clients, I never suggest someone just quit their job. Quit your job and do whatever. It's preparing. It's putting all of those safety mechanisms in place so that we can do. So then when it's time for the person to let go of that job and to jump off into whatever abyss that they're jumping off to, they've created the most safe place for them to do that. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I'm really grateful to be here, grateful to be with my parents. Oh, my parents are celebrating their 56th wedding anniversary. 56. Wow, I can't even imagine. I guess I can. I'm seeing them, and they've been my parents for quite a while. So I guess I can imagine. I've seen it. But anyway, it's been great to be with them, and great to be in Bloomington. I head back to Chicago tonight. So yeah, I guess it's my last night with nature. So anyway, happy Labor Day, and also think about all the people in Houston, and reaching out to them, and definitely encourage people to volunteer if you can go down there, or to donate funds or whatever. It's kind of overwhelming just to think about everything that people are going through down there. But also just hugs to them. Anyway, have a great night. Bye.